to name election date before constitution deadline, and the Palestinians in Gaza say aid efforts not enough to reach all those in need. Details to these stories when we come back.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Welcome to the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is Monday, the 28th day of July, 2025. I am Jasmine Thomas. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, is leading a high-level delegation to the 4th edition of the Africa-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum Active 2025 that started today, Monday, 28th July, and runs until tomorrow, Tuesday, 29th July, in St. George's, Grenada. Held under the theme Resilience and Transformation, Enhancing Africa-Caribbean Economic Cooperation in an Era of Global Uncertainty, Active 2025 is convened by the African Export-Import Bank and aims to strengthen commercial, economic, and cultural ties between Africa and the Caribbean. Joining Prime Minister Drew on the delegation are the Honorable Samuel Duggins, Minister of Agriculture et al., Carlton Pogson, representing the Ministry of Finance, Naima Hazel, Permanent Secretary in the Prime Minister's Office, and Sharima Matthew, Director of the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service, SKNIS. The Active 2025 Forum will serve as a strategic platform for dialogue, deal-making, and cooperation between governments and private sector actors from both regions. With trade between Africa and the Caribbean projected to reach US $1.8 billion by 2028, Active 2025 is expected to advance meaningful collaboration in key areas such as processed foods, minerals and metals, transportation and logistics. Prime Minister Drew's participation reaffirms St. Christopher and Nevis's commitment to building resilient and transformative partnerships that align with the Federation's economic development and agenda and global positioning strategy. The St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services, SKNFRS, proudly celebrated the graduation of its latest cohort of recruits on Thursday, 24th July. The ceremony marked the successful completion of an intensive training program that lasted for 6 months, equipping the new fire officers with the essential skills and knowledge required to safeguard the lives and property of the Federation. The graduation, held at NEMA's conference room, was attended by Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew and other dignitaries from the Ministry of National Security, senior fire officers and representatives from the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, along with proud family members and well-wishers. Throughout their rigorous training, the recruits underwent comprehensive instruction in a variety of critical areas. This included fire suppression techniques, search and rescue operations, hazardous materials management, vehicle extrication, and a strong emphasis on emergency medical response. The curriculum is designed to prepare them for the diverse challenges they will encounter in their service to the nation. A new mental health and wellness facility has opened its doors in Nevis offering a range of psychological services aimed at supporting individuals, families, and institutions. Called The Respite, the center was formally launched at a ceremony on July 22, attended by members of the public, healthcare professionals, government officials, and community stakeholders. The facility was founded by clinical psychologist Dr. Curtis Clark, who used the occasion to speak candidly about her personal motivations for establishing the center. In her remarks, Clark reflected on her early exposure to untreated emotional pain in both children and adults and how those experiences shaped her professional path. "I saw children silenced by trauma they couldn't even begin to name," she said. "Somewhere in that pain, I found my purpose." The Respite is located in Clegot and offers a broad range of services, including individual, group, and family therapy, diagnostic assessments, behavioral interventions, and training and consultation for schools, businesses, and law enforcement agencies. The center will operate using a hybrid model, providing both in-person and virtual services. Beyond its clinical offerings, the initiative is also focused on reducing stigma around mental health and providing culturally responsive care tailored to the needs of the local population. The center is now open and accepting appointments. For further information about the Respite and its services is available at www.therespite.com or via social media at The Respite. Regional and international news is next, following the break.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
In regional news, People's National Party (PNP) President Mark Golding is turning up the heat on Prime Minister Andrew Holness, warning that any further delay in naming the date for the next general election could see him forced into a corner by the Jamaican Constitution. "This moment is your moment. This moment is our moment," Golding told a large crowd of comrades gathered in Musgrave Square on Thursday night during a rally where the party's 4 standard bearers for St. Anne were officially introduced. Jamaica does not operate with a fixed election date, giving the Prime Minister discretion on when to call voters to the polls. However, Section 64 of the Jamaican Constitution stipulates that Parliament must be dissolved no later than 5 years after its first sitting. Following the September 3, 2020 election, Parliament first convened on the 15th of September, meaning it will automatically dissolve on or before September 14, 2025. Under Section 65, a general election must then be held within 3 months of that dissolution. Golding encouraged supporters to vote not just for the PNP, but for themselves, their families, and Jamaica's future. The remarks come amid heightened political activity with both PNP and the governing Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, ramping up public appearances, rolling out policy proposals, and engaging in grassroots mobilization. On the international scene, Palestinians in Gaza said aid packages dropped by Israel and other nations on Sunday and the dozens of aid trucks that entered the enclave are not enough and have yet to reach the population of more than 2 million people. Israel has implemented daily 10-hour tactical pauses in 3 areas of Gaza to allow for limited humanitarian access amid rising international concern over worsening hunger. However, the United Nations, the UN, said the temporary pauses remain insufficient as the risks of looting persist. The World Food Programme, WFP, has called for reliable corridors and consistent access to deliver aid at scale. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would allow minimal aid to enter Gaza after images of emaciated children fanned criticism of Israel and urged its allies to call for the Israel-Hamas war to end. Israel claims it has restricted the level of aid which can enter Gaza because Hamas siphons it off to bolster its rule, a claim the militant group rejects. And now for the weather. Present weather across St. Kitts and Nevis is fair. Winds are a gentle breeze of 9 miles per hour from the east-northeast, and seas are 0.6 to 1.2 meters or 2 to 4 feet. For the rest of today, partly sunny and hazy with a 40% or moderate chance of showers. Tonight, partly cloudy and hazy with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Sunset this evening will be at 6:45, and sunrise tomorrow is set for 10 minutes before 6. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.